As you just heard, tonight, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, in an interview with Jen Psaki on this network, made news when she said indicted New Jersey Senator Robert Menendez should resign.
It'd probably be a good idea if he did resign.
One of the very hardest things for a United States Senator to do is get indicted. If you're looking for a job where you have more than a 99% chance of never being indicted, the United States Senate is the place for you. This country has had 2002 United States senators. Exactly 13 of them have been indicted. That is just over 0.5% of United States senators who have been indicted. But if you're a senator from New Jersey, the odds of you being indicted skyrocket. Here is Senator Harrison Williams, who made the mistake of accepting piles of cash from FBI agents posing as rich Saudis in a bribery trap investigation that became known as Abscam. The undercover FBI agents handed the senator a briefcase of cash, which was recorded on FBI videotape and was proof beyond a reasonable doubt for a jury. The FBI managed to catch exactly one out of 100 senators in that sting, which once again enforces just how hard it is to indict United States senators, usually because they are, in fact, too smart and just honorable enough to not commit crimes. Serving right alongside Senator Harrison Williams when he got caught on camera taking a bribe was the junior senator from New Jersey, Bill Bradley, a Rhodes Scholar who was a basketball star at Princeton and went on to NBA stardom in the glory days of the New York Knicks when the team won 2 NBA championships. Bill Bradley was the most famous professional athlete to ever become a United States senator, and he was as wise and honest and decent and dedicated to his oath of office as any United States senator who ever took that oath. So New Jersey has sent the good and the bad to the United States Senate, but New Jersey has sent more bad than most states. Bill Bradley left the Senate after serving 3 terms, and he was succeeded by Robert Torricelli, who served only 1 term, during which he managed to become the subject of a federal criminal investigation by the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York. At the beginning of Senator Torricelli's reelection year in 2002, the U.S. Attorney announced, after, quote, an exhaustive investigation of gifts received by the senator, that prosecutors would not be seeking an indictment of the senator. The Democratic Majority Leader of the Senate, Tom Daschle, who had only 51 Democrats, released a statement saying that Senator Torricelli had been vindicated. New Jersey voters didn't think so. When the polls showed Senator Torricelli racing toward a clear electoral defeat at the last minute, the Democratic Party in New Jersey changed their nominee just in time to get the new nominee's name on the ballot. Suddenly, retired former New Jersey Senator Frank Lautenberg came out of retirement to find himself running for the Senate again at age 78 and winning and holding the seat for the Democrats in an election where the Democrats still lost the majority. Frank Lautenberg served New Jersey honorably and was then succeeded by Senator Cory Booker, who has also served in the Senate with honor and unquestioned integrity. Robert Menendez occupies the same Senate seat that once belonged to the indicted and convicted Senator Harrison Williams, who was caught on camera taking cash. Senator Menendez's cash has also been caught on camera, but only in still photographs of piles of it found at his home. The indictment of Senator Menendez, made public by the U.S. Attorney of the Southern District of New York on Friday, the same office that indicted Senator Harrison Williams, says that an FBI search warrant discovered $480,000 in cash in Senator Menendez's home. Senator Menendez today insulted the intelligence of the voters of New Jersey and the rest of us with this explanation for the cash.
For 30 years, I have withdrawn thousands of dollars in cash from my personal savings account. which I have kept for emergencies and because of the history of my family facing confiscation in Cuba.
What's he talking about? How do you do that on a senator's salary? And he was born in New York City in 1954. His parents left Cuba in 1953. Fidel Castro did not come to power in Cuba until 1959, whereupon property was seized in Cuba. But that is not even close to Senator Menendez's lived experience. He is a member of the Senate Banking Committee, and he's pretending that he's afraid that his money will be seized if he leaves it in an American bank. It was seized because it was found in cash in his home. If it's true that he doesn't trust American banks to hold his money, then he should resign from the Senate right now on the grounds of being grotesquely incompetent at understanding how banks work and how American life works. Any senator who has $480,000 in cash at home should resign right now. The FBI also found gold bars, which they say were one of the ways bribes were paid to the senator in the bribery and extortion indictment that charges the senator, his wife, and 3 men who delivered the bribes, according to the indictment. Senator Menendez said absolutely nothing about the rest of the evidence in the case, including the free Mercedes-Benz he was given as a bribe, according to the indictment. Only 3 senators have said that Senator Menendez should resign. None of them are Republicans, because Republicans want Senator Menendez to stay in the Senate as an indicted United States senator to help prove that being indicted is no big deal in American politics, like Donald Trump says. Republicans want Senator Menendez to run for re-election next year and lose that seat to a Republican who would easily win that seat. If Senator Menendez resigns, the Democratic governor of New Jersey would appoint a Democrat to replace Senator Menendez. During Senator Menendez's lifetime, 5 United States senators have resigned under pressure. One of them is New Jersey's Harrison Williams, who only resigned after he was convicted and when the Senate was about to vote to expel him. Only then did Harrison Williams resign. Not getting caught on video with cash, that didn't make him resign. And so far, Senator Menendez plans to follow the Harrison Williams model. The 3 senators who resigned under pressure after Harrison Williams were never charged with a crime. Al Franken resigned in 2018 after at least 34 Democrats rushed to call for his resignation before allowing a Senate Ethics Committee investigation, which Senator Franken requested. Accusations by women against the senator for inappropriate conduct were enough for Senator Franken to agree with his colleagues at the time that he should resign. He apologized on the Senate floor and resigned. Prior to that, in 2011, Republican John Ensign of Nevada resigned during a Senate Ethics Committee investigation of possible corrupt activity that revealed an extramarital affair. And the third one was Republican Senator Bob Packwood, who resigned in 1995 after a multi-year Senate Ethics Committee investigation led to a unanimous recommendation of expulsion for sexual harassment. The chairman of the Senate Ethics Committee that recommended the expulsion of Bob Packwood, the powerful Republican chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, was Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell didn't just call on Bob Packwood to resign. He demanded that the Senate expel him, expel a Republican. And knowing that he would be expelled by virtually unanimous bipartisan vote of the Senate, Bob Packwood resigned. So there is a strong history of United States senators demanding the resignation and forcing the resignation of senators who have not even been charged with a crime. As hard as it is for a United States senator to be indicted, this is Robert Menendez's second time. He got a hung jury at his first federal criminal trial. That means some jurors voted guilty and some jurors voted not guilty. And when Senator Menendez got a hung jury in 2018, Democrats treated him as if he had been found innocent, as if he had been completely exonerated, as if he had done absolutely nothing wrong. And there is no such thing as a finding of innocence in American courtrooms by juries. Cory Booker immediately embraced his New Jersey colleague Robert Menendez publicly when the Menendez jury became a hung jury. Will he do that if Donald Trump gets a hung jury? Will every Democratic senator who fully embraced Robert Menendez after he got a hung jury publicly come out and do the same if Donald Trump gets a hung jury in Florida or a hung jury in Georgia or a hung jury in Washington, D.C.? If Donald Trump gets one juror to vote not guilty while every other juror is voting guilty and the jury is hung, will every Democratic senator say, well, that means he didn't do it, like they did with Robert Menendez? The first senator to say Robert Menendez should resign is a new senator who is by far the most distant from the Senate establishment way of thinking and dressing. John Fetterman of Pennsylvania said in a statement, Senator Menendez should resign. He's entitled to the presumption of innocence under our system, but he is not entitled to continue to wield influence over national policy, especially given the serious and specific nature of the allegations. I hope he chooses an honorable exit and focuses on his trial. Senator Fetterman said that on Saturday, 24 hours after the indictment became public. Today, Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio, then later Senator Peter Welch of Vermont, said Senator Menendez should resign. Silence from the other senator from Vermont who said this about Senator Franken, quote, the right thing is for him to resign. That's what Cory Booker said about Al Franken. And it is what Sherrod Brown said about Al Franken. Senator Brown said, I agree, the time has come for Senator Franken to step aside. Sherrod Brown is the only senator who called for Al Franken to resign, who was also calling for Senator Menendez to resign. Al Franken did resign, and he said he did it for the good of the party. He was convinced by Majority Leader Chuck Schumer that he had to resign with a special Senate election looming in Alabama, and the Democrats couldn't afford to have stories about Senator Franken hurting their effort in Alabama. I can understand why the Democrats didn't want Robert Menendez to resign from the Senate for the first time he was indicted, because there was a Republican governor of New Jersey at the time who would have appointed a Republican to serve as senator. That doesn't really change the ethics of the situation, but I can understand the politics of it. But now there is a Democratic governor of New Jersey who can easily appoint a more honorable and honest senator than the twice indicted Robert Menendez. When the Republicans forced the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, Bob Packwood, to resign from the Senate, they lost that Senate seat. The Republican Packwood was replaced by Democrat Ron Wyden. And the Republicans in 1995 never paused over that. They knew that was going to happen. They drove out a Republican senator and lost the seat to the Democrats, and they knew that was going to happen. Mitch McConnell did that in 1995. Now, obviously, Mitch McConnell has changed dramatically since then and would not do that again today. Here's what Senator Schumer said about Senator Franken at the time. Senator Franken should resign and he should step down immediately. Here's what Senator Schumer said about Senator Menendez. Bob Menendez has been a dedicated public servant and is always fighting hard for the people of New Jersey. He has a right to due process and a fair trial. Senator Menendez has rightly decided to step down temporarily from his position as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee until the matter has been resolved. Now, whether you agree or disagree with Senator Schumer's insistence that Al Franken should resign, and reasonable people disagree about that, it is impossible for Senator Schumer to be morally right about both of these cases. It is impossible to say Senator Menendez deserves due process and a fair trial, as Senator Schumer did. But Senator Franken did not deserve due process and an ethics committee investigation. What these two stories tell you is that the Democrats in the Senate do not have a set of ethical principles ready at all times to guide them through these situations. And in a year that is all about defendant Trump, the Democrats now have to deal with defendant Menendez.